Welcome to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy. And today I'm here to start my series on depression. This is for anybody that suffers from depression. It's also for anybody that knows someone who suffers from depression. Don't mind the backside of my bed. This is full of everything. Why? Because of depression. I'm doing this video from my bed. Why? Because of depression. So, the beginning of the series will be about the replacement of depression. Where is it? Where is it? Is it in the body or is it in the head? Where is it? For this part of the series, I'll just need you to ride the wave with me. And the wave starts at the all, the head, God, the Creator. Let's say that our being is based on one source energy, God, the Creator, the all. The all divides itself, multiplicity, and permits its own energy, its essence, to cipher down into individual vessels, clay bodies, our bodies. Without source energy, there is no life. How can I say that a different way? Our clay body, our vessel, only becomes aware and animated once source plugs in to an individual vessel. So let's talk about the individual vessel, the body. Is depression in the body, in the head? Where is it? If you just take a clay vessel, a body, and look at it, separate from source. It is not conscious. It's not aware. It's not animated. Closer look at the body. All the body parts, the head, the neck, the back, the chest, arms, all the way down. Then there are the internal features of this body. The skeletal system, the circulatory system, et cetera, the nerves, all those things. The one major organ I like to really focus on, though, is the brain. Is depression in the brain? I don't think so. Because the brain is merely an instrument within the body, just as is the heart and the lungs, the kidneys. Each of these major arteries has a function. The brain's function is a regulatory system or a control center. And it tells the body what to do or what response to have. The brain is merely a tool. And just as the rest of the body, this clay vessel, has no consciousness or animation without source energy, the same has to stand true for the human brain. Without source energy, not even the brain is conscious or animated, nor is it booted or turned on. With that being said, and moving to answer the question like, where is depression? We have to rationalize that depression is not in the physical body. Not at all. Not at all. So let's go to the highest plane of our research relative to our discussion on where's depression? Where is it housed at? Where does it reside at? Where does it come from? Yada, yada. The highest plane is all, God, universe. However you like to describe source energy. Does depression reside with source energy? I think not. Why do I say that? Because if source energy, God all, was the bearer of the spirit of depression, then all clay vessels and bodies would suffer continuously from depression. So depression does not reside with the all. It is not a part of the original thought, nor is depression a part of the physical body. The physical body is merely a tool and is not even turned on until source energy is plugged in to an individual vessel. So let's talk about the plug-in, where source taps in to an individual vessel. We now know or can rationalize that depression is not in the physical body, nor is it with source. So, if it is not with source, the energy that leaves source and travels to an individual vessel is where depression, at least the spirit of depression, must reside. Let's see, to make this example better. God downloads into clay vessels, bodies, consciousness, and animation. That download to some. Now, this is the part that I'm having a hard time rationalizing, so maybe you can help me. That download between the all and the vessel, for some, is corrupted. It is my belief through theorizing, I guess that'll be an appropriate term, that depression resides or is the corruption of the download a clay vessel, a body, a person receives from the all. Now, that download we can't see. We just assume it's us, it's in us. However, death is evidence that there is an external motivation that brings us life. And that realm, or not realm, but space, where the download is taking place, the transmission, I'll say, the transmission from source to vessel, that space, that gap of the download is corrupted for some. And that realm or space is the ether, the ethereal realm many speak of. And in the ethereal realm, there are many different entities, spirits. Now, that realm is where we came from, I do believe. And we who, me, you, and others that exist, at one time or another, didn't have a physical body. We were also a part of that ethereal realm and those spirits or entities that resided there. But for whatever reason, a select few of us were given the opportunity, granted the opportunity to take on the clay body, the clay vessel, the physical body. Even though a few of us got this clay body, there are a lot more spirits or entities that did not and still reside in that ethereal realm. The enemy, the corrupter of the download, the spirit of depression, resides in that ethereal realm. Before you or I or whomever may suffer from depression, the information is from the all is pure and is again transferred to us. In that transference, the enemy, some of those spirits or what we call demons or depression, corrupts the download, sending a signal to the brain to command the body in a certain way. And in this video, in this series, we're talking about depression. There was two things I wanted to just point out before I continue to move on in the next part of the series. This is just the opening where I'm just kind of setting the pace for the series on depression. And one, I need y'all help. Because one of the symptoms of depression is you can't focus, you can't think clear, all that kind of stuff. So I'm in that place. That's why I'm in the bed. I'm going to warm my clothes. And it was this story in the Bible. I've been out to church for a long while, y'all. But it was this story in the Bible, and I can't remember who it was. Possibly Enoch. If not Enoch, Elijah. If not Elijah, Esau, one of them E's. Anyway, that person would like astral project. They would go to walk with God in heaven or something like that. And when they would astral project, leaving their body, it's that space, that ethereal realm I speak of, in which they had to travel in order to meet with God in heaven, to go on tour. And in that ethereal realm, between the body and the high heavens, I'll say, that person had to battle with demons and spirits and all kind of stuff. I can't remember which story it was. If one of you know, please type it below, because I can't figure it out. I can't remember it. But that person in that ethereal realm battled. And I bring that story up because, and as an example, something we can compare to what I'm talking about is that when a person astral projects, Their body does not leave this physical realm. No. What leaves or ascends out of this physical realm is their consciousness and that which animates them, which is the consciousness. And that is what travels through the ethereal realm, in the case of the story, into the higher heavens. And it is that consciousness, the animation, that is does the battle with those spirits and demons and entities of the ethereal realm that don't have a physical body. And that person that takes that journey, that astral projects, is in danger. They're in danger for multiple reasons. And how can I say that when, like for instance, when you suffer from depression, again, many of us want to think it's in the body. It's in the body. Well, heck, our true consciousness is not even really in the body. You know, we are animated and made conscious by an external entity, the all, that sends a transmission down to us, downloads consciousness and awareness that ultimately animates us. Just as in that Bible story where one of those persons' name that begin with an E, I do believe, astral project, that space, the ethereal realm, it still exists today, is what I'm trying to point out. And that is where we, me, you, anybody that suffers from depression, astral project or anything, that is the realm we are, is constantly, long as you are alive in this physical body, that is a realm that you can't see. But that is the realm that all things are taking place, including the attack by the spirit of depression. I hope I made that make sense. It was something else I wanted to talk about relative to that particular plane, but I can't remember. So, what was this video really about? Well, it's part one of a series that will talk about depression. And in this video, I was just breaking down existence overall in order to identify, to point out, to make known where the spirit of depression resides through rationalization. I rationalize that depression does not reside in the body, not even in the brain. Neither does depression reside in the highest heavens as a part of source energy. My argument, or I argue, that the spirit of depression, as well as many other entities and demons and spirits, reside in the ethereal realm, the realm which we came from before we were born. Where were we? You know, that's where we were. And we, for whatever reason, were selected or given the opportunity to manifest into the physical realm. Even though we are in the physical realm, and this seems to be all that we know, the truth is the ethereal realm is still in place, active, and governing many aspects of our life. And from that ethereal realm, people that suffer with depression, hallucinations, etc., all that is coming from that ethereal plane, where there are many other entities and beings that don't have a physical body, but are equally as conscious and aware as we are. Anyway, I'm going to take me a nap and fight off this depression. Until next time, for Can Angels Fly. Bye. I gotta turn off the computer, y'all. Y'all can't watch me sleep.